They say there are certain topics that you should not talk about in polite conversation with people you've just met or don't really know, because they lead to a lot of controversy and debate and yada yada yada. And while I totally agree with that, I figure, I'm on YouTube, I talk crap all the time, but I want to talk about things that are actually important to me. And whether people agree with me or not is not the point. We have to talk about issues that are important to us and engage in discussion, or else nothing will be fixed. We will be in complete stasis, and stasis is bad. Bad, bad, bad. So, I decided I'm going to suck it up, deal with the consequences. By the way, look at my arms. I've been totally working out all the time. It's getting there. I'm going to hunt my own food. But back to that. I decided I am going to talk about things that are important to me and talk about those forbidden topics, because we should be able to talk about things and create discussion in a civilized manner. Now, due to what I'll be talking about, I understand if people say, oh, you're full of shit, I disagree with you, whatever. I don't care if you disagree with me. I do not care. All I ask is that you just be respectful with your opinion, because I will try my best to do it. And if I fuck up, I'm sorry, because sometimes I get heated, but I will try not to. But let us all just be mature, because the only way we can talk about these things as equals is to treat each other like equals, and our opinions, even though we don't agree with them, to at least understand and listen. So, there will be no spamming, no deleting of comments. I will not warn you, because you're adults. I will only warn people if I feel it's getting way too out there. But overall, just talk about things sensibly. I know it's the internet, but come on. We're adults. Most of us, anyway. Everyone on the internet is an adult, because you have access to all this information. You act like an adult. This is a privilege, not a right. Okay? So, number one on the whole forbidden topics thing is religion.
It doesn't matter if you love him or capital H-I-M.
Me, myself, I was raised Judeo-Christian. Not actively, like my parents. My dad's a Rastafarian, or he was. I don't know if he still identifies as that. And my mom was raised, Roman Catholic when she was in Jamaica. And I was baptized Episcopalian, which I'm really proud of. I love my Episcopals. But, because basically, my parents weren't married, so they wouldn't allow me to be raised in the Roman Catholic Church, be baptized in the Roman Catholic Church, because they didn't think I would be blessed with the values, because they weren't married. Well, they were so wrong, because me and Jesus are like this. So, haha. But when I went to Catholic school most of my life, I went to Catholic school for, K through 8, and then from high school was another Catholic school, only now I'm not in Catholic school anymore. And when I was in the 7th grade, we started learning about the catechisms, and I learned that because I believed in magic and thought magic was real and wanted to secretly be a witch, that I was breaking the first commandment and I was going to go to hell. And I was like, okay, that's kind of fucked up. But I didn't think that in the 7th grade. In 7th grade, I was like 10 or 11, because I'm 92. But I was just totally confused as to how that made sense, because I was not really well versed in any religion at that age. I kind of, I went to church because I had to, because it was Catholic school. We went to mass once a week. I learned the prayers. I knew when I could sleep. I knew, if I was on the bench, I could sleep for a certain time sitting up, and when to get up, what to say, how to make it work. It wasn't that I didn't love God or anything like that. It was more like I did not know what I needed to care. I was just going through the motions of faith instead of actually having faith for myself. And after that kind of happened, I decided I was going to do my own thing. I kind of left the church in my own weird way, and I looked into other faiths and religions, because other religions had always fascinated me from when I was younger. I wanted to learn about, Islam, Zoroastrianism, paganism, magic had always interested me, so Druidism, Wicca, all that kind of stuff, then Buddhism, Judaism, and I feel if I wasn't an English major, I'd probably study theology, because theology fascinates me. I love the study of religion. But for me, finding my faith meant not allowing myself to be locked down to what other people told me, and to not be locked down to thinking that, this is right, this is wrong, blah, 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 blah. Basically, my religion is that I mix and match. Basically, I take the best things I find of each thing and make it my own. Because I feel the point of any faith is to enlighten and to bring peace and to bring, you know, a sense of community together. And I don't feel that in any really religion I've been into in sort of like a service. Like, I go to church every Christmas. I don't go on Easter, I don't go on any other holiday, but I go for Christmas. Because one, it's Christmas, and I feel it's a more happier holiday. And I feel everyone is in a similar spirit. But I like to see how they do the church on Christmas Day. When I go into a church, for some reason, it's really weird, I always feel more disconnected than anything else. I never feel part of anything. I spend most of the time looking at the statue of Mary, because I've always had a very, very deep attachment to Mary. I love female goddesses, which was why I was connected to Wicca, because it was so much female power. And whenever I learned about Mary and thought about Mary, Mary's like one of my favorite people. Like, I love the name Mary. I love most of the saints I like are named Mary. I have an attraction to her because she's so strong in a sort of understated way. And when I go to church, I mainly spend the time looking at her statue of her holding baby Jesus. And I think to myself, you know, with all these trappings and all these finery that we have in church for Christmas Day, what are you really spreading? You know, we are not learning anything by having this thing. If we were out, you know, in the snow sitting on a rock, we'd be closer to God than we would be in a church. And I think that's one of the big issues I've always had with trying to become part of a denomination, is that you have to, you know, settle into something that you may not, you know, agree with. I don't feel close to God by just being in a church. I don't feel close to God by just being, you know, praying. I like to just talk to him, and I like to just hang out and chill like he's a friend. And I don't think of him in a, I guess I humanize God a lot, which I know is kind of a bad thing because he's superior and everything, but I humanize him a lot. I make him like part of my daily thing. But that's not to say that I'm kind of like devout, because I don't go to church. I'm not sitting here telling you I'm some great Christian, because I'm not. I don't even categorize myself as a Christian. But I have found things, like there's stuff in Buddhism that I like. I like the meditation and chanting things, stuff like that. Hinduism is really interesting. I really just love faith, and I love people of all faiths. Like, I love Muslims. One of my best friends is Muslim. I love the Jews. You know, I always wear my Star of David so people think I'm a Jew, but I'm not. I just find it to be aesthetically pleasing as a spiritual indicator. And I love having faith. If God does not exist, it doesn't mean anything to me. You know, I have always believed in things that were not always real. You know, I believe in magic. I believe in the unbelievable. I believe in, like, you know, cryptozoology. I believe that there are things out there that we can't see, we can't touch, we can't feel. And to be told that they don't exist, I'm like, whatever, I don't care. I like believing in it. So faith and being like religious just came like naturally part of that. It's all part of magic to me. It's all part of that unbelievableness. Like, it's all part of that connection of thinking there's something greater than you out there. And I don't care what it is. And I don't care if I'm wrong. Like, if I just die and I become a tree, so the hell what? I become a awesome ass tree. But I feel like the freedom to choose what I believe in is the most important thing. That's why I can't stand people who push their faith on other people. Like, I'm really religious, but all my friends are atheists and agnostic. Do you think I care? I make religious jokes all the time because I am content with my faith. And I feel if you're content with your faith, you don't need to go around telling people that they're going to go to hell. They don't believe in whatever you believe in. That's the biggest bullshit in the world. That's the biggest con in the world, because I guess I know the Old Testament God is very wrathful and everything, but to me, I never think of my God, the God I worship, I don't care if he's yours or not, as someone who gives a shit if someone is gay, who gives a shit if someone is, you know, isn't the right color or isn't the right denomination. What should matter is goodness and living your life the way you want, and to live your life the way you feel is the most comfortable to you, and to be happy and to be a good person, and to just be the best at what you can, to help people and to love people and to love your neighbor and love everyone, even when they piss you off, and even when you don't understand someone, to just care about them. That's what love is. That's what I feel God wants. And I think that's the most important thing. I don't think I think you go to wherever you want. I think there are many paths to whatever end that you want. Whatever life, whatever reality, whatever you want to happen to you when you die will happen to you, because that's what's meant for you. And I think that if that wasn't the case, we wouldn't have so many faces and it wouldn't be such a beautiful thing. But of course, that's my opinion on that. But I hate people who push their faith on other people. I can't stand it, because that's not what faith's supposed to be about. You have to find it for yourself. You can't just, open a book and point to a scripture and be like, here, convert. It's deeper than that, and if it's not deeper than that, it isn't really worth anything. It has to be your own choice. If you're not happy with what you believe in, why do it? And I honestly, atheists and agnostics, they have every right not to believe in a God. There's no proof. There's no proof that he exists for an unbelievable doubt. I mean, I believe in science. I'm not going to stand up in front. I believe in God, but I believe in science too. I believe in evolution. I don't understand how people don't. I know why. I just don't understand it personally. There was a guy that was cute once, but he said he didn't believe in evolution. I'm like, no thanks. Can't get down with that. But I understand that. To me, it totally makes sense why people would be atheists. There's no undeniable proof. There is things to explain why everything in this world happens. But believing that there's an afterlife is just so much more fun. It's so much more interesting. It makes life like an adventure, like a novel. Like, there's one great big, Shakespearean, Bronte, Austen novelist just writing your story, and you're putting down your little footnotes on history. It's all just one big adventure, and it has to end. But what if it doesn't end? What if it's just a continuous adventure? Like, you're like, Laura Keller Hamilton. Anita Blake is never going to end. It's going to keep on going and going and going. That's so cool to me. And that's how I think of faith and stuff like that, which I guess is kind of why I'm weird. But whatever, I don't care. But I love that kind of stuff. But I would never say to someone, you're wrong for not having a faith. But what I do dislike is how people say, because I say certain things about God and whatnot, that I have a stick up my butt, or that I'm, one of those people. Like, there's nothing wrong with having faith. Let people have their faith. It comforts them. It makes them happy. As long as they're not pushing on you. Like, when someone comes to you and be like, you're gonna go to hell, you should tell them to fuck off. But other than that, I feel like it's not a big deal. And honestly, not to get all sappy with you or anything like that, but I think the ultimate reason why I choose to believe in God, why I choose to believe in a heaven, why I choose to believe in a hell, is because of my mother. My mother is my light. She is my world. She is my soulmate in every step of the word. She means everything to me. And I realize that she is going to die one day. And one day I'll have to live without her. And I'm afraid of that. I've never not had my mother. I've never not needed my mom. I love her. What can I do without her? She's everything to me. And to think I'll never see her again would make living without her worse. It would make every day painful. It would make every day a struggle to get out of bed, because she's my world. If I believe that when I die, I'm going to be with her, and we're going to be together forever, and it's not going to end, and everyone that I care about, and everyone I love, that everyone I'm going to have to lose, will be there for me when I need them forever. At the end of that suffering and that journey and that mourning, will make it okay, because it won't end. It's just another step in that chapter of life. And if I didn't believe that, I don't think I could deal with death. I need that comfort in my life to get through the death of my family members. People who have raised me, who I have loved, who I have dealt with. And while to some may say that's childish and it's a fairy tale, well, it's my fairy tale, and that's what I want. I don't care if you don't like my fairy tale. My fairy tale is my own. You can have your own tale. And it can be whatever you want it to be, and you don't have to have a god or a deity or whatever. But I feel that that's what I want. And I think one of my biggest issues with people who judge faith is how people want to judge each faith as if someone is somehow worse than the other. Well, let me tell you something, Mr. and Mrs. I've read the monotheistic texts of the three major religions, and they all say the same sexist and racial things that the other one does. So cut that out. Because it's not, if someone were to do what spiritual leaders, what these spiritual origin people said to do, there is nothing wrong with that. At its core, there is nothing wrong with that. But if you manipulate it and warp it to mean what you want it to be, that's not the same thing. People use it as a weapon, and it taints it. It taints faith. It makes it into something violent and vile and dark and dangerous, and that's not what it's supposed to be. Like, people who use the Bible to tell people that God hates them, those people are gonna, if there is a hell, they're gonna burn in it. Like, the Westboro Baptist Church are gonna burn in hell, and I think that would be fucking hilarious. And if they don't burn in hell, I don't want to go to heaven. Honestly, if they end up going to heaven, I'm like, no, peace out, because these people are fucking crazy. There is no reason why you should tell someone because they are homosexual they're gonna burn or they're wrong. That's wrong, because God loves everyone. And if you don't see that, and you don't deserve to call yourself a Christian. Love thy God and love thy neighbor. So love your neighbor. Treat them the way you'd want to be treated. And I hate people who honestly cannot understand that. People who tell gays that they're going to go to hell because of some line in Leviticus. Do you know how much shit in Leviticus like we have considered irrelevant today? Like, half the things that we do that are in Leviticus don't make sense in a modern context. The only laws that still make sense in the Bible or in the Old Testament are the commandments. They are, they are timeless. They make sense throughout all ages, throughout all times. But the stuff in Leviticus is all very, historically based. There's a reason why people would be like, don't be homosexual or have it in the butt then. Because if you had anal sex with a man and then went and had sex with someone else, you would get an infection from fecal matter. It makes sense. Stuff that you weren't allowed to eat is because, it would make you sick or you couldn't produce it right, or was to help certain things, like the stuff about slavery and stuff, because slavery was okay then. And, cross-dressing as a man, men had certain rights, women didn't. It all makes sense in the cultural and historical stigmatism, and certain things have to be cut out, because while the Bible is a religious text, it is also a historical text, and it has to be treated like so as of all the historical and biblical text. They have certain laws in it that happen because that's what that time period was like. And that has to be taken into consideration 100% when you're looking at these things. And also, saying that the Bible is infallible. If it's infallible, why are stuff cut out of it in the first place? Why does, the Vatican and get to combine two biblical characters into one person who never fucking exist? Like, if you read the book, if you read the Bible, Mary Magdalene isn't mentioned to be a prostitute anywhere in there. There's a prostitute story and there's a Mary Magdalene story. Like, I looked that up after the Da Vinci Code bullshit thing happened. It's two different stories, but they combine them and you think it's true. People actually think that Mary Magdalene was a prostitute, even though there's no evidence in the Bible to suggest that at all. You have to also question things because you have a brain. You have free will. You have the right to use it. So, that's my tirade on religion. Sorry about the little profanity, but it happens. And I will do the next one on race. Yeah, I don't care.